Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome back. I'm going to be taking a look at Python Crash Course again and going to be jumping into the Task Tracker project. I didn't unfortunately get to working on it yesterday. I got too involved in finishing the chapter here for Python Crash Course, but I will be working on it today. I do want to dedicate a good chunk of the stream to working on that, but I do want to open up with just some Python Crash Course warm-up. Uh, and I do have the chat open as well as the stats, so hopefully I can get a better gauge of actual viewership this time around. Um, yeah, I had some people here last time that I didn't even realize were here. So if you're here, I appreciate you joining. And if you're watching the playback, welcome. So we're on chapter 11, testing your code. So in chapter 10 was all about files and exceptions. Try and accept with files using pathlib and importing path. We briefly talked about JSON using JSON dumps and JSON loads, where we, with JSON dumps function inside the JSON module, uh, the JSON dumps um, I get them confused. Load or run. So let me get a quick update here on JSON dumps. JSON dumps, the function of generation, contain the JSON representation of data we're working with. Okay, so we're going to dump, so the kind of how I like to think about it, we're going to dump some JSON data into Python. So dump that. So it dumps the JSON into Python, converting it from JSON format into Python, and then, or a readable Python object. And then the JSON loads is just the inverse, where it takes the Python object and converts it into a JSON format and saves it. So that was the general overview of chapter 10. In chapter 11, we are given, let me go ahead and I want to make sure I can see the chat when it comes up. Docs, chat. Alright, got it up here. Okay, so when you write a function or a class, you can also write tests for that code. Tests prove that your code works as it's supposed to in response to all kinds of input it's designed to receive. When you write tests, you can be confident that your code will work correctly as more people begin to use your programs. You'll also be able to test new code as behavior, or as you add it. Test new code as added to make sure your changes don't break your program's existing behavior. Okay. Every programmer makes mistakes, so every programmer must test their code often to catch problems before users encounter them. In this chapter, you'll learn to test your code using PyTest. The PyTest library is a collection of tools that will help you write your first test quickly and simply, while supporting your tests as they grow in complexity along with your projects. Python doesn't include PyTest by default, so you'll learn to install external libraries. Knowing how to install external libraries will make a wide variety of well-designed code available to you. These libraries will expand the kinds of projects you can work with on immensely. Cool, so we're going to learn how to install external libraries with PyTest, but I've worked with PyTest before, so I think I have it already installed. You'll learn to build a series of tests and check that each set of inputs results in the output you want. You'll see what a passing test looks like and what a failing test looks like. You'll learn how a failing test can help you improve your code. You'll learn to test functions and classes, and you'll start to understand how many tests to write for a project. Installing PyTest with pip. While Python includes a lot of functionality in the standard in the library, Python developers also depend heavily on third-party packages. A third-party package is a library that's developed outside the core Python language. Some popular third-party libraries are eventually adopted into the standard library and end up being included in most Python installations from that point forward. Interesting. This happens most often with libraries that are unlikely to change much once they've had their initial bugs worked out. These kinds of libraries can evolve at the same pace as the overall language. Many packages, however, are kept out of the standard library so they can be developed on a timeline independent of the language itself. These packages tend to be updated more frequently than they would be if they were tied to Python's development schedule. This is true of PyTest and most of the libraries we'll use in the second half of this book. You shouldn't blindly trust every third-party package, but you shouldn't be put off by the fact that a lot of important functionality is implemented through such packages. Updating pip. Python includes a tool called pip that's used to install third-party packages. Because pip helps install packages from external resources, it's updated often to address potential security issues. So we'll start by updating pip. Open a new terminal window and issue the following command. So we'll just go here into the terminal, right? And let's enter Python -m pip install upgrade pip. Okay, like so. Cannot be found. You may have maybe I need to go to Python 3. The second part, install dash data. The first part of the command pip. Okay. So the first part of this command, python -m pip, tells Python to run the module pip. The second part, install -- upgrade, tells Python to update that package that's already been installed. The last part, pip, specifies which third-party package should be updated. The output shows that my current version of pip version was replaced by the latest version at the time of this writing. You can use this command to update any third-party package installed on your system. So if I go back, this is my upgrade, right? There we go. A new release of pip is available to run. This environment is extremely meshed to install Python packages system-wide. Try brew install XYZ, where XYZ is this package you're trying to install. If you wish to install a Python library that isn't in Homebrew, use a virtual environment. If you wish to install Python but isn't in Homebrew. So let me see. Alright, so the error message indicates that the system has an externally managed environment which restricts system-wide installations through pip. Here are a few options to resolve this issue safely on Mac OS. Here I know. Brew upgrade Python. Okay, let's try that. Okay. I should upgrade both Python and pip. The latest version available through Homebrew. Use a virtual environment. So I know I installed it, but what is Homebrew? Homebrew is a package manager for Mac OS that makes it easy to install, update, and manage software. It simplifies the process of installing tools and libraries on Mac OS by handing dependencies and configurations automatically, so you don't have to download and compile them manually. With Homebrew, you can install many command line tools, programming languages, and applications that aren't included by default on Mac OS. It uses simple command line interface, making it popular among developers who work in terminal environments. Okay. So if I go back up here, so I'll do brew install pip x. I have no idea what's going on. Okay. Now if I run this again, what do I get? I still get that. check my pip what's it called? Release. Version. Yeah, you can run the code. Why is that? I guess it's the same thing. Virtual environment. Root upgrade Python. Okay. Already installed. Okay, so we'll say what is hip. Hip 24. So I got this again. And I did option 3, but if Breeze doesn't upgrade Python, be approved. Linked. What was that? Why is it doing that? Why is it doing it? Stop doing that. It is still using default pip links. Okay. Check homeward pathway pip.
path show something like user local bin opt3 or opt homebrew bin opt homebrew bin Python 3 opt homebrew bin, yes. I'll copy this in. Why is it giving me this shit? Install use pipex for package management. So let me quit this. Over here. It's gonna give me that. Throw me that suggestion again. code settings in a virtual. When you change settings in VS Code while working in a virtual environment, those changes typically suit the context in that environment. User settings. These are global settings that apply to all projects and environments. If you change the user setting of a virtual environment, it will remain when you switch back. Workspace. If you change settings specific to a workspace while in a virtual environment, those space will be saved in a .code-workspace file or in a .vs code/settings.vs file in your project directory. These Hello, chicken enthusiast. How you doing? I'm not doing much work right now. I'm just kind of I was just updating pip and doing a virtual environment, kind of just learning about it here. But I'm gonna get back to work here on the Python crash course. So if you're interested in learning about chapter 11, um, PyTest, and so I got pip upgraded here, and then but this is a lot arbitrary. This is nothing I'm working on. This is all just getting pip upgraded. So I got it all good here. So I'm in this virtual environment now. Hmm, cool. So gotcha. All right. So, but how are you doing, chicken enthusiast? I like your name, chicken enthusiast. That's a good name. I appreciate you leaving a chat and saying hello. All right, makes it less lonely in here. All right, let's get started. Let's get back started. So we updated pip. Now we can install package name. Now installing PyTest. Now that pip is up to date, we can install PyTest. So let's do in our directory here for Python work. We'll do Python 3 dash module. We'll install the module pip. With the module pip, we'll install dash dash user PyTest. Can I do dash dash user site packages that are not visible in a virtual environment? Lots of work on school and personal works. Well, it's you just gotta take it one project at a time. I'm just going one page at a time here, at my own pace after work. It's hard when you have deadlines to meet, yeah, but you can only go as fast as you can. But luckily, I don't have any deadline here, so I'm just going at my own pace. But okay, so dash S user, I got an error there. So cannot perform a user install. User site packages are not visible in this virtual environment. Okay, so you know what we gotta do. We gotta go back to Mr. Gyps here. The error message you're seeing indicates that you cannot perform a user install while inside a virtual environment. Okay, yep, that would make sense. So virtual environments are designed to provide isolated spaces for Python object projects. Okay, so how to install PyTest in a virtual environment? Pip install PyTest. You don't need the user flag. Okay, so let's just go pip install PyTest. Ah, cool. We don't even need all that funky jargon. Nice. So I believe if we go into the path here, we'll now see PyTest in our library. Yeah, so we had pip in here, and then now we have PyTest packages in here as well. So that's how we know we have everything working. I'm in a crisis. What to do? Lots of work in school and personal. Well, what kind of work are you doing? Are you in school or college or high school, master's? What kind of school are you in? And what kind of work you were doing? I'm sure it's probably interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and get going here. So testing. Okay, so we're still using the core command pip install without the dash dash upgrade flag this time. We're using the user flag. This tells Python to install the package for the current user only. Okay. Okay. If you have any difficulty running this command, try running this command without the user flag. Okay. To learn about testing, we need code to test. Here's a simple function that takes in a first and last name and returns a neatly formatted name. Yeah, so we have a get formatted name, right? I think it might be easiest if I have someone in here or people joining to show just with a kind of a dummy file here inside Python work. New file here, not in there. 10.1, get in there. What's going on here? Yeah, okay, right now. So dummy.py. So this will just be my dummy file to show the code. For college, it's a midterm and a bunch of readings, quizzes, tasks to do. Oh, you mind me asking what subject you're in? I kind of miss being in college. It was fun. I got my bachelor's in human biology and chemistry. Um, so I currently occupied here in the U.S. and yeah, looking to expand my knowledge and get more into this stuff. So I have some Python knowledge already. I've been doing some uh, projects and taken some CS50 courses already, and I'm just doing this book again to solidify this knowledge because it's also teaching me some stuff I didn't know, more in depth, um, bare bones stuff about Python that the courses don't really cover. Psych degree. Okay, I took an abnormal psych course when I was a junior in college. And that was pretty tough, actually. I went in, I thought it was going to be easy. But it required me to, like, memorize a lot of the different ailments and mental illnesses, and a lot of them have a lot of overlapping conditions and symptoms, and so I was just like, oh my gosh, it was pretty tough. Okay, so I gotta get focused here though. I'll keep answering your questions. Yeah, it's great. After I'll forget what I learned. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this. This whole point of this channel is just to help retain my what I'm learning because I can learn it, but I want to remember it, and so by making these videos and streaming, and I can just go back and watch and myself or editing them, it just solidifies it further and just hear it over and over again. So testing a function. So we have a function here. So we have def get formatted uh, name. It takes in an argument of a first and last name, right? So you provide the function with the first and last name to format the name, or get the format name because it's going to probably return it. So, right, full name is equal to f string for first and then last, right? So, and then I'm guessing just return a full name in title case. So we essentially here just take in an argument for this function get formatted name, which by the name formats the name just by the descriptive function name. And it takes in first and last name. It applies those arguments into this f string, um, and then saves that value as a full name variable, and then returns that full name variable with the title method applied to it. So pretty simple here. So you run the function get formatted name, combine the first and last name with a space in between to complete a full name, and then capitalize it, so then returns the full name. To check that get formatted name works, let's make a program that uses this function. The program names.py lets users enter first and last name and sees a neatly formatted full name. From name underscore function from name function get formatted name, import get formatted name. Okay, so they import that function and they say enter Q anytime to quit. They run a while loop. They ask the user for a first name. If they press Q, they quit out of the loop. They ask the user for a last name. If they press Q, they quit out. They use the get formatted name function to format it, and then they print it out. Cool, so this program did exactly that. I'm not going to skip forward here. We can see that the names generate here are correct, but let's say we want to modify get formatted name so it can handle middle names. As we do so, we want to make sure we don't break it the way the function handles names, that we only have a first and last name. We could test our code by running names.py and entering names like Janis Joplin every time we modify get formatted names, but that would become tedious. Unfortunately, PyTest provides an efficient way to automate the testing of a function's output. If we automate the testing of get formatted name, we can always be confident that the function will work when given the kinds of names we've written tests for. So we got another person in here. Hello to that person. I appreciate you stopping by. Good evening to you. I hope you're learning some Python as well. All right. So passing unit tests and test cases. There are a wide variety of approaches of testing software. One of the simplest kinds of a test is a unit test. A unit test verifies that one specific aspect of a function's behavior is correct. So one specific aspect of a function. A test case is a collection of unit tests that together prove that a function behaves as it's supposed to do. Okay, within the full range of situations you expect it to handle. Okay, so a unit test is just, can it format Michael Deming? Can it format John Doe? Can it format John Doe Ray? Can it format John? Okay, well, this can obviously format all those names, so all those together create a test case. Cool. A good test case considers all possible kinds of input functions could receive and handles and includes tests to represent each of these situations. A test case with full coverage includes a full range of unit tests covering all the possible ways you can use a function. Achieving full coverage of a large project can be daunting. It's often good to write tests for your code's critical behaviors and then aim for full coverage only if the project starts to see widespread use. Okay. So, full coverage, what does that mean? A test case with full coverage includes a full range of unit tests covering all the possible ways you can use a function. Okay, so kind of just what I said before. Right, so a collection of unit tests, test it in various ways from all angles to create a test case. A passing test. With PyTest, writing your first unit test is pretty straightforward. We'll write a single test function. The test function will call the function we're testing and will make an assertion about the value that's returned. If your assertion is correct, the test will pass. If the assertion is incorrect, the test will fail. Oh, hello, Nima. How do you pronounce Nima? Nema? Sorry if I butchered that completely. Oh my gosh. Hi, can you please share how you're planning to study Python? I meant what resources you're following. Oh yeah, so it's in the title of the stream. I'm using Python Crash Course by Eric Maths. It's really helpful. I'm on page 212 of the third edition. There wasn't a PDF online when I bought the book, but there is one online now, so go check that out. Just look up online. There's an updated version of the third edition now, which has some additional I think chapter or maybe edits, but has more problems in the book as well. I've also taken CS50P from Harvard, which is the Python course, and in that course I did a lot of these same concepts. I learned pretty much the same concepts, but just a more
Umbrella quickly iterated because the class is very fast paced, and requires you to kind of do a lot independently in reading the source material from Python. But I kind of wanted to be more interactive with a book, and so hence why I'm doing this. But yeah, I have a video on my channel actually of the final project I did for that class, which was the inventory system for like chemicals or really anything because it's kind of modular and can take multiple kinds of inputs. So, which is really cool. And then right now I'm working on these try it yourself problems from the book, but eventually, hopefully a little later in the stream, I'll shift focus to work on a task tracker project I'm working on, which is really cool. It's pretty basic like any other task tracker, but I've implemented saving and uploading file functions so you can save and write files or the file and keep your tasks, and then those tasks are ordered by a time increment and given priority ranking from there. And so I think it's kind of cool that way. And yeah. So anyway, I'm kind of nervous. Oh my gosh, sorry, we got four people in here. I've been doing this for a while, and I've been just doing it by myself. So sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. I don't not used to talking to people in here. I'm just talking to myself. But I appreciate all you guys for stopping by. Thank you so much. I'm like blushing. um, that's really awesome. Uh, it's really really cool actually. So back to okay. If you have any more questions, please. Oh my God, there's seven people. Hello to the seven of you. Okay, I keep getting so distracted, but I really appreciate you guys stopping by. And if you have any questions about learning Python or the methods I'm doing, please feel free. I'm not trying to teach anything because I obviously am learning myself, but I just want to be like maybe like an example that people can hopefully just see like a path to also follow as well. But yeah. So we just learned about full coverage of a unit of test cases. So passing tests. So here's with PyTest, write your first unit test is pretty straightforward. We'll write a single test function. The test function will call the functions we're testing and will make an assertion about the value that's returned. If your assertion is correct, the test will pass. If the assertion is incorrect, the test will fail. So yeah, so with PyTest we use assertions. So def last first test first name last name. Okay. Formatted name equals get formatted name Janis Joplin. Assert formatted name equals quote Janis Joplin. Before we run the test, let's take a closer look at this function. The name of the test file is important. We must start with the test underscore because when we ask PyTest to run the test we've written, it will look for any file that begins with test underscore. Okay, so we need to import the function actually into a new file with a titled test underscore. I remember that from the course. Yep. And then in the test file, we first import the function that we want to test. Get formatted name. Then we define a test function. In this case, test first last name. Okay, so we from the original file, we import the function into our test file. This is a longer function name that we've been using for a good reason. First, test functions need to start with the word test, followed by an underscore. Any function that starts with test underscore will be discovered by PyTest, okay? Yep. And will run as part of the testing process. Also, test names should be longer and more descriptive than a typical function name. You'll never call your function yourself. PyTest will find the function and run it for you. Test function names should be long enough that if you see the function name in a test report, you'll have a good sense of what is being tested or what behavior is being tested. So okay, so we're never calling it. PyTest just does it itself. So I remember that in the course I was often calling my functions back into main or my test functions back into main, but I deleted that eventually and it still was working. So it just calls it by detecting test underscore. Oh, I appreciate the words. That is, by the way, you pronounced my name correctly. Oh, cool, awesome. Appreciate it. Oh, understandable. I would have felt the same. Just a question: have you taken it directly for the moment you want to learn Python the learner, or of course you taking another way to start? No, I that was from bare bones. I didn't know anything, and
to be honest, it was pretty hard. Like I didn't know anything about programming other than like some basic like Excel, like and how that kind of worked with like finance and stuff. But in my job with obviously um, chemistry and things like that. But I never really understood it at all. But it took me a while to wrap my head around what things were doing and what was going on. Like classes were just I did not understand what a class object was. I was like, how can an object be represented in just words here? Like how this doesn't make any sense. But then I just kind of kept thinking about it and just like thought about, oh, well, think about it just like a neighborhood of houses and how houses all look the same, but this house has different color, this house has different a door, this house has, a brown roof instead of black shingles. Like they're all the same house, but they just have different attributes. So once you kind of think about it in those ways, it helps. And it really took me a while. I spent about 3 or 4 months doing the course over this last summer, and it took me about, a week and a half, sometimes 2 weeks for a lesson, some of the lighter lessons, because I just was, I took it slow, obviously, at my own pace. I am working full time, and um, it was just hard, to be honest. I was trying to understand it from a scratch. So don't be feel alarmed because people that ask questions in that class, they have coded before 100%. They have done something. They've taken like basic JavaScript classes or something and web dev or something because they know basics and I'm like, how do they ask these questions? It's just like, what? But I'm going to be watching on my channel the CS50X course that's being published right now for 2025. So I do want to actually take the problems online through their WebEx, and those won't be updated, I think, until actually 2025. But I am going to watch the classes here and then go back and do those problems, I believe. So, or maybe just try them and then repeat them in 2025. But, anyways, let's kind of get started. Hopefully, that rant answered your question. Okay, so we have a passing test here. We call test underscore running a test. If you run the file test underscore name underscore function dot py directly, you won't get any output because we never call the test function. Instead, we'll have test PyTest run the test file for us. To do this, open a terminal window and navigate to the folder that contains the test file. If you're using VS Code, you can open the folder containing the test file you want and use the terminal that's embedded in the editor window. Um, Here, Miss Kitty, come here. Come on. Come here. Let's see if she'll come over here. Usually she joins me for my streams. Come on. Come on. Here she comes. She's stretching. Come on. Come on. Oh, let me grab her. She likes to come sit on my chair. There we go. Miss Kitty. There we go. Ooh, stick her booty in the air. She likes to sit up there. Let's see if she'll stay up there. Alright. Oh, I bumped her. She'll come back though. Alright. Getting distracted here, but it's fun. Alright. So we open a terminal window, and to actually run, we need to call PyTest to do that. So we do, if you're using VS Code, open the folder containing the file, and that's embedded in the editor window. If this terminal window, enter the command PyTest. Here's what you should see. Okay, so let's enter PyTest just for fun in this one. No test run. Okay, so PyTest is working in our function. It's not detecting anything. 0 items. Cool. Hello to the people that are here. If you're here, welcome. I'll periodically will say that just so if people are new, I want to make sure everybody feels welcome. If you haven't, feel free to like and subscribe if you are following along for more information. So PyTest is working here. Let's try to make sense of this output. First, I will see the system information about the system running on the test. testing on this Mac OS system, so you may see something different here. Okay, most importantly, we can see which versions of Python, PyTest, other package are being used. Next, we can see which directory the test is coming from. In my case, Python work chapter 11. Gotcha. One test passed. Okay. 100%. The single dot after the name of the file tells us that a single test passed, and the 100% makes it clear that all the tests have been run. A large project can have hundreds or thousands of tests, and the dots and percentages complete indicator can be helpful in monitoring the overall progress of the test run. The test line helps us that one test pass tells us that one test passed and it took less than a millisecond to run. This output indicates that the function to get formatted name will always work for names first and last unless we modify the function. When we modify the get formatted name, we can run this test again. If the test passes, we know the function will still work for names like Janis Joplin. Okay. Turn on page 11. Okay, failing tests. So I'm actually going to pause here and I'm going to shift focus to the my personal project. We're about an hour in. About to go to failing test, but we got to get the gist. I'm going to go to my personal project here and let's code the task list, right? Cool. So I'll give you guys just an example here of what the task list actually does. So this is my project I've been working on. I've got just a couple of files here. I've got my class that I'm pulling my task information from. I've got my function here, which is just the overall operations of what's happening, the structure, if you would. Uh, if you think about it in web development, the main would be the HTML where everything is being interacted with the user and such, but the class is I'm pulling all of the style or the programming information from. I have some, programming info here, but a lot of the classes and functions come from here. But I have, a CSV with some uh, information in there, and then I have just some globals with information that just remains the same, some constant variables. So let me answer your question here really quick, chicken enthusiast. I'll answer your question just one second. Let me continue here while I have some people here. So hello to the people here. I'm just going over my personal project here. I'm still working on, I'm adding some implementations. It's just a task tracker. So I use datetime actually and cowsay and CSV to save. The cowsay helps interact, make it kind of fun and cute. The date time module obviously helps create structure for date objects and dating these tasks so they can be ordered accordingly. And I can show if anyone's interested how that's done. It's really cool, I think, how the date time is super just easy to use. And then obviously CSV, we save to a CSV file. That's what we were taught to use in CS50P with just the example they gave in the Python crash course. I know how to use path now to um, find path objects in your directory and import those, create a file from them, and then it could be JSON, things like that, text files. But this is just what we used in that example. So I'm gonna stop rambling here, but so let's actually run the program here. So to enter, obviously, would you like to open the task tracker? Oh, got a failure here. I have to jump. My bad. I think I was actually working through a bug I had last time uh, in my class here. So I have a load. Where is it? Load class task file right here. Method. So class method. So I try to open up task CSV in reader mode. Set the new line to blank, right? Um, as just a file variable. So I read the file with the reader. I skip over my header row, right? And if there is nothing in there, still do none, right? I believe that that's what that none returns. I can't remember exactly. I looked it up the other day. So the new rows equals false. So rows found equals false. So this is just a flag, right? I have a flag set up here. So if there aren't any rows, meaning that if the file is blank besides the header that I skipped over, then I'll just go no rows found, right? No data. I'll set the if not rows found, right? Else, for rows in reader, we'll loop through every row in the file, and we'll set the right that we found some to true, right? And we'll try and get task title. So this is what's failing right here. Task title equals row 0 list index out of range. Okay, I think it's because I had previously saved. Like so, if I go run here, see now I get in. Now if I exit, it knows that that's there. So if I delete the task and come back and run, right, I get a fail. So I need to somehow catch that. That's an error, a bug I need to catch. So I'll answer your question here before I continue. Understand I felt the same question. Okay, I answered that one. Okay, thanks. All right, I guess I should not start with the course as well. I feel like I struggle a lot there. It's been barely used like that Excel and spreadsheets. Yeah, so I mean, you can definitely power through it and learn. I definitely learned a lot from it. So you can use that to your advantage. Hello, Copter. How you doing? Welcome. I appreciate you joining, and good evening to you. I'm just going over a personal project task tracker, but I'm just answering a chicken enthusiast question here. Um, I would struggle a lot, and I barely use anything. I guess I find a lot of those basics you have mentioned barely used. Oh, I guess I got the third edition of the file. What's the main difference between the newer version? The newer version, just more, I think it has more problems in it, and just updated lingo and a couple of updated to the Python, because Python updated itself. Copter, phone. Oh, you're fine. Oh, good. Awesome. I'm glad you're fine. So let's clear this and let's go ahead and put that task back. And let's run the file. So this is what the program does here. So we run the file, and we were prompted met with the calsay. So this is where calsay comes in. He's kind of guiding you through the tasks. So we can view the task, we can add a task, and we can edit the task list. So if we view the task list, as you can see, I just have spend time with Gina, which is my girlfriend. So we spend time with Gina is my current task. I'm gonna go ahead and just delete that task with edit task list with entering 2. I would like to set it up somehow to where the terminal just clears and so I'm reprompted with the new section every time rather than having to scroll through and get to the bottom. I find it to be kind of unuser friendly. So I will implement that later on. I got a lot of stuff I got to work on little by little. So I'm going to actually remove a task with edit 2 because I'm in the editing the task list here. So I'm going to remove task 1 and then I'm back to this menu here. So let's go main menu and let's view the task list to make sure that worked. That did not work. So why did that not work? Let's try that one more time. 2, remove task. Which task do I have to move? 1. Remove task. No tasks in the list to remove. That breaks it. Okay, so there are some bugs that definitely need worked through here for interface, for sure. So let's open it back up. View, edit task list, remove task 1, main menu, view. It's still there. So when I loop back from task, then it's it's deleting within this section, removing it, but it's when I go back to main menu, I'm running the load task file again, right? So let's take this actually and inside main, right? If we press 1, we want to load the task file here rather than at run system, because if we're just loading the previously saved file, because we only save at the end when we close. I don't currently have a function to save and then continue working. So um, if anyone has any questions to the people in here, hello, I appreciate you guys joining. I actually really appreciate you guys coming here. 5 people, that's awesome. I'm usually by myself, so feel free to give a thumbs up if you enjoy. Maybe subscribe if you want to follow along. But I'm doing my task tracker here, just going through some debugs and just getting the overall process going on. So I've just been working on this for a few weeks, and so we moved the load task method, right? This actually loads the file CSV from our task class method, and we instead of running system when we come back to the main menu, we want to put that here. So now let's just exit out, and then so we have that task there. Let's go ahead and clear, and then let's run again. So let's open. Let's go ahead and edit task list. Let's remove a task. Let's remove task 1. Let's go back to main menu, and let's view tasks. So now we have no tasks. Okay, we fixed that bug. So when we go back to the main menu, and so that was why I was getting those errors from before. Um, because if I had like 4 or 5 tasks, when I was removing tasks and then going back to main menu, it was still having the tasks. So I was like, why is it? And sometimes it would double them if I didn't remove all of them. So I felt like it was something was going on, but that fixed it. Cool. So I figured that out. So now if we view tasks, we have no tasks, right? So I can add a new task. So we're prompted again, let's add a new task by Mr. Cow. And then we have, let's say we want to code task manager. How many days would we like to complete is what we're prompted with next. I say, it says it wants an integer. So I say 1. I believe I have it set up if I don't provide an integer, it recalls back and says let's give an integer. Hello, Fode. Is your name Fouad, or Fode? I would really appreciate if you told me the pronunciation so I could get it right. Hussein, I appreciate you joining. Hello. Interesting. I just read the description of your channel. This question seems stupid, but I can't have a thought really. I can integrate. Well, I've seen actually people can create, all sorts of uh, data representations. I would really like to learn like SQL. Fuad. Okay. Hello, Fuad. I appreciate you joining. Um, tell me if I got that right. Uh, and appreciate you hanging out with me. Yeah, so I'm just doing a basic task tracker Fuad, and I just have Cowsay giving us some prompts, and it's just pretty basic here. Uh, Yeah, so Python can just all sorts of data, maybe like tracking patient trackers for, maybe, and then creating maybe some sort of encryption for sensitive data and for sensitive information for patients. Um, you know, it's really, you have to be creative when you think about this, because programmers are creative. What I've come to find is because you have to develop your own kind of projects. So really find things that you could be passionate about. How long will the stream go? I will get things ready to watch till the I will go as there. I've got 6 people in here, and people keep popping in and out. I've never had this many people in here, so I'll stay as long as you guys want me. This is pretty awesome. So I feel good. I'm juiced. I got my water, and I feel good. So, anyways, let's quickly go back in. So if I have, let's say this task is really important, and I have one day to complete this task. Right? So I can view that task again by just circling back to the main menu and it prompt 3 and I get code task manager app and it just formats that nicely. I was going to maybe use the tabulate or I wanted to maybe learn the pandas module and incorporate this data back in a tabular format, tabular table, whatever I pronounce it, um, whatever way you say it, format. But I just put this, wrote up this quick uh, f-string format to just display it as so for the time being. So we can add a new task, and then let's say the task is we have homework, right? Let's say homework for calculus. How many days to complete this task? Let's say we have this is due in 5 days at the end of the week. All right, thinking this was a Monday, because or whatever. This actually takes in the day that you're currently on using the date time module. Whenever you create an object of the class, I can show you guys that it automatically creates a data instance for that object for the current time or date that it was created. So then we can view the tasks now, and these tasks are set. I know we programmed code task manager app first, and then coded or programmed or wrote in homework for calculus, but this will actually automatically sort when we add a new task based on the priority given to it via date. And I also have a actually priority, um, you know, indication that I can display hopefully eventually that is just given if it has a date range, a due date of 1 to 3 days, it's a priority 1. If it's a due date range of 4 to 7 days, it's a priority range 2. And so it kind of does the same thing as, the due date and everything, but it groups things together. Maybe I can just show, okay, show me all the number one priority. I can filter, right? Maybe I could use that as a filter attribute. As a beginner programmer, is line 31 to 35 need f string? Yeah, so this is just an f string, right? So inside the user input, you can, or the input function, whatever you would like to display prior to receiving input from the user, you can use, you put in a string, right, to prompt or whatever prompt you would like to display before receiving that input to guide the user to whatever input you would like to receive. And something you can provide is just an f string, which is a type of string which is just formatted. And so I have it. I visually wrote it out this way, and also the prettier and the formatter that's incorporated into VS Code that I have installed, saves it in this format as well. But I have it saved with this f string that it will actually look like this, right? It actually looks like this inside my code, and so I can visually see that with the f strings and the new line tabulation, I can see that it will look similar to this. So, or the new line indication, sorry, or it's an operator. I'm not sure what the right term is. If you delete the f string, will it still work? Yeah, it will still work. It just won't. Um, like, oh, it actually might not be needed in this case, right? I think I just probably wrote these f strings in by habit. So if I deleted the f string and wrote this just as one long string with these, um, escape ends or new lines in there, I'm sure it would do the same thing. But I just have f strings in there. I'm not sure if f strings cause, you know, time delays. Like I'm going to learn eventually about uh, whatever time computer programming time stuff. So I know I'm saying time a lot, but I'm not sure if f strings are any different than just a regular string in repetitive time and lag and things like that. If that's the right
terminology. But so let's say we add a new task, and let's say we need to mow the lawn, right? And last time calculus was due 5 days from now. So how many days would we like to complete? Well, let's say the old man is really on our back. We got to mow the lawn in 2 days. So that will actually be ahead of the homework for calculus, right? We entered in mow the lawn after it, right? Post, but now it will sort and filter automatically. So we view the list again, and as you can see, mow the lawn takes the place in second place here. So that happens here via, I'll show you guys that. And this looks like a lot, but I did one little thing a day. Like I read, okay, today I want to make the displays task, and I did that. Today I want to make the remove task, and I just did that. It's day by day, little by little. It's not all at once. This took me a couple of weeks. This is not. I'm very new at this. This is not um, that. It seems complex, but it's little things, easy things over the course of time added up. So, what's it? Set due date here, right? Or no, not set due date. We want to save existing. Like I said, it's been a few weeks. I've been working on this a few weeks. So I have to remind myself where I put stuff. I need to put in um, whatever the triple strings are, doc strings, so I can describe these better. Um, so this just prints, right? So I think it's set priority. So yeah, so if the days to complete, this sets the priority ranking. Um, but then I order the, oh, here we go, sort. So my sort task method here just uses the sorted function, right? It takes in the class.tasks list here. This is where all my, or array of objects are being stored. And then uh, I just am using some arbitrary lambda function once here. I'm not indicating a repetitive function here. I believe I'm not. I need to refresh my memory. I think I had to look this portion up what the key meant last time. But the task here for using the sorted function is just you sort it based on the days to complete task, right? So this is how you would write to sort these objects. This took me a little bit to figure out. I definitely had to look up some resources and read the actual Python sorted manual to figure these out. It gives you an example actually in the Python docs of using the key lambda and this actually format right here. Can you enumerate in line 85? What do you mean by that? I'm pretty, like I said, I'm pretty new. I'm not really sure what you um, mean by that. For index task in enumerate. Oh, yeah. Oh, the enumerate function. Yeah. So, um, in line 85 for task in class number enumerate task dot class tasks. Oh yeah, so what you're saying is to rather than using a counter for the index to enumerate, I could enumerate. I very well. I think it does the same thing essentially, right? The enumerate function, which just it's a, if I remember correctly, I know I'm stuttering a lot. I'm trying to just gather my thoughts and think about these. It's pretty complex, and I get, like I said, I'm new and I'm a beginner. Um, enumerate.
Use index instead of number. So does enumerate, is it faster? Is that the benefit rather than using a counter number and then using the length of the string of uh, the list of objects as a representation of that? Or what's the benefit really? I know you probably should use enumerate because that's what they obviously use. I think in the leak code problems, right? For like finding the index of something and swapping things out. That's probably where you guys are referencing if I would have to guess. But feel free to chime in. I'd love to talk about it. I don't know if it's any different. I'll wait for you guys' response. I like this. I like learning. You guys are teaching me stuff. See, this is the whole point. I don't really know much either. I'm trying to learn stuff. I didn't understand a way to get the index of a list without just creating counter and using length. But if enumerate does it for me, and if it's faster and speed and things like that, 'cause I think that's what essentially matters, right? But I don't know. To the people that are in here, again, how are you guys doing? I appreciate you guys joining me this evening, October 29th. I don't really have a lot of people in here, so it's really awesome that I had some people join. Feel free to like and follow along. I do streams quite often after work, and just study and try to teach myself stuff. I went to college for human biology and chemistry. I have a bachelor's in that from a state school, and so I'm teaching myself computer programming on the side after work. So reading books, learning all I can. So I'll go ahead and try that. So let's go ahead and um, let's go ahead and comment these out, right? So we want to say, I thought about pushing. I think I said that in my stream yesterday, Fuad. I wanted to push it. I thought I should because it would, track my progress and maybe people could fork it and do things following along. You can have an, oh, that would be a good idea, right? You could follow along. Ah, that's really smart. I need to do that. Honestly, I have my GitHub with some stuff on there. I always have to look up and remember how to push stuff on there. I always forget the code. I have to write it down. The GitHub's I have to remember it every time. It's kind of like passwords. Gotta look them up. So if to do what you guys were saying, so for index task enumerate task class, right? So we want to keep the length of the class, right? So if length of class dot tasks is greater than 0, we want to do the following, right? We want to still check that there are objects or tasks in the class. Um, and so, yeah, Fuad and Copter, I will really actually consider that and probably actually just do it. I don't see why not. So I'll publish it to GitHub and hopefully by my next stream or maybe the next one after that if I don't stream tomorrow. My girlfriend comes home tomorrow um, evening. But yeah, I'll definitely and I'll meet back and hopefully we can get on that. I'll put that in my next stream hopefully. So subscribe and follow along if you want to see that. That'd be awesome. Cool. All right. So if the length of if we have objects in there, we want to print, right? We'd still want to print, right? Oh, right. Okay, I got you. See, I always don't catch that. I always think of the initial way to say it, but often it's easier and faster to do the inversion condition. Thank you, Nimesh. I appreciate you saying that. So we can say no, if not, is it if not? Um, Makes sense. Oh, for the for loop, then return none. Okay, so we don't need a check up here, was what you're saying. Instead, what we would do is, oh, this code is kind of annoying me. I need to really just move it. I'm going to put it down here. So instead, he wanted to. Okay, I'm getting it. Okay, you can invert the condition. Makes sense. If not, class.task. So, oh, I was doing the right thing. Okay. See, I get confused. Why is it formatting because of this statement here? If not, um, class.tasks. Will this return, will this indicate if there's something this? So if class.task, right, if there's something in here, do the following else return none. That will essentially do the same thing, right? Um, so if there are class for tasks um, for task in class.tasks, right? We want to do enumerate um, task. So this will return the value, right? So this will return two um, variables I need to assign or unpack, right? So I will unpack obviously the task and then the index. Oh no, it doesn't take in a second variable. Oh, for task class in enumerate class task. Okay, I got you. So you say for class and for task. Does it give the index first? Is it specify the order is probably important. Index task in enumerate. Oh, we need to enumerate the actual, um, yes, we need to enumerate the actual list itself, not the individual task, right? Perfect. Thank you, Copter and Nimesh. I appreciate you guys helping me with this. Um, so what did what I do with it? So this will be just index plus equals to 1, and then we print, right? No, for tasks, we need this guy, right? Print statement. if there's a task, we print. We want this, and we don't want to do it outside the loop, so we'll print that statement out front. We want to index plus 1. Oh, does enumerate automatically? Oh no, because it's going to loop through every index. Yeah, I was thinking, sorry, I'm not doing a counter, right? I was in that mindset. I'm not doing a counter. So I don't need to. But this is my display task, so I needed to print index here, right? Now, will this display it as an integer or give me like a list value for user face friendly? Oh, because it'll be index starting from 0. Yes, exactly. This one. Right, so it's going to, so this basically says so if there are values, right? So if there are values slash objects tasks in the task list, do the following, right? Print the current tasks heading, and then we're going to um, also for the index of and a task for every task in our task class, we're going to enumerate to also capture the index of that task, the place in line in the list, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then um, we for each one of those we're going to go ahead and print the actual index value to as like this is object 1. So but because we start from 0 we have to say plus 1, so index plus 1. um, Object 1 is the and then this is the task 2 task 3 task, just like we have here. Perfect. So I bet you is this just faster, Fuad and Copter and Namesh? Is this just what do you know what the benefit to enumerate like just the I'm just interested into the why this is preferred over using a counter. Yes, int. Okay, cool. It will just print int out max print int for user friendly counter. Okay, so uh, it will return an integer, um, and then uh, cleaner, I guess. Okay. Yeah, less lines of code. I think I've seen the enumerate want to be used in some problems online and stuff, but yeah, cool. Thank you guys for it does the counter for me. Yeah, thank you guys for showing me or kind of coaching me through the enumerate function. I appreciate that. That was really helpful. So that does the same thing. So back to the actual program here. So we have I have an edit task list, right? So I'm actually going to close the program, and then as you can see, it saved our tasks here. And I want to show you guys that I have the rainbow on. This is just a extension here. If you don't know, um, Rainbow CSV, which just assigns. It can be difficult to see the column orientation with text that our CSVs provide because there is no cells. There are cells, but it's all done internally. But so the color is corresponds to the column. So I have a priority here, right, from this def set priority. So if the days to complete is in this range, set priority 1, basically basic and simple, right? And then just return the priority. Uh, the priority
it overlaps. So maybe I could filter if I only want to show top rated priority tasks. I would filter out for these two based on priority. So it's just cool. I know it's really awesome, right? 7 people watching. I've never had this is insane. I've never had people in here before. Like I've had like trickle two, maybe one at most. My girlfriend pop in, but it is awesome. I really appreciate you guys coming in. This is super cool. I'm like been kind of blushing all night almost. Jeez. All right. So we have that so far. And so let's go ahead and clear this out. Let's open up the program again. And then let's view, make sure that's working still. So perfect. Our enumerate function is working as properly, and we are displaying the tasks in the same way. So we'd want to, let's edit a task. I want to show you guys the edit task properties. So we can edit the task list. So right now I have edit task property working accordingly, which is all this down here. I don't have this incorporated into the I have like remove in here and some other things, but I have some internal functions in here I'll show you guys. But so I have edit task property, which is just where I can actually edit um, the title or the due date. Saves your memory as well. Cool. I downloaded CSV and Rainbow right now. Awesome, Copter. That's super cool. Yeah, they're good. CSV is super cool, especially if you're like gonna export stuff into Excel and things like that for data analysis or things like that. I'm assuming, hopefully, get down there. Enumerate saves your memory as well. Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure that that was the benefit of it. That's why they preferred, I think, in the leak code problems from the couple of the beginner ones that I've tried. Uh, I used the counter method. I think it passed, but they would have preferred me to use the enumerate. That's where I had initially saw it from. So which task would I like to edit? So I'm gonna just select the task, right? Now what's cool is I have it set up so I select the task via the list, but obviously because it's indexed via 0, it selects index plus 1. So I could probably use the enumerate function in that one as well uh, if I'm doing a counter. But so I can edit the task title here. So let's go ahead and edit the code task manager app title. So let's just make this live stream. And I'm going to make it all lowercase to show that we're making title case. Right. So, and then I'm going to keep the same days to complete. Right. So we'll go main menu. And then I will edit task list again. And I will edit a task property. And then let's do mow the lawn. And then let's edit the days to complete for this task. Let's make this just really big, 100. So let's make sure that mow the lawn gets shifted down and that this reset of the due date is happening, right? Because homework for calculus only has a 5-day due date. So now if we press main menu and then view the tasks list, as you can see, our primary number one task code task tracker app was changed to live stream title, perfect, and mow the lawn was shifted down. Do you have any other account on social media platform or any other platform I can follow? I actually don't have any other social media. I have like a Facebook, but it's just my name. I mean, I had like Instagrams and stuff. I just spent so much time doom scrolling, just couldn't stop, and I had to just break away. And ever since I graduated college, I deleted Instagram, so I've been without that stuff, that kind of social media for TikTok and all that for almost 3 years now, a little over 3 years. Graduated at the end of 2021. So coming up on 3 years solid here, which is really interesting. Kind of crazy. All right. Any guys in school right now besides chicken enthusiasts? Who's talking about it?
Move camera to upright. What do you mean copper? Copter. Move camera to my camera? Is it low? Move it up? Upright, like turn it that way? It's my webcam, it's my laptop. My MacBook is the Oh, can you shrink or shift the camera? We can't see the command. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. That is my fault. That is my fault. Come on. That's what she meant. Uh, Come on. How do I get rid of you? How do I go away? There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. All right, sorry about that. I always forget that that camera ends up getting in the way sometimes. I never know where to put it. So, um, we can see we view the task list. Oh, because I exited out before saving previously, it didn't work. So I'll just go ahead and do that again. So I view the tasks. We can edit the task. So I will go ahead and edit a task property with input 1 here. I will select which task I'd like to edit. So let's edit the first task. I will edit the task title. Let's change the title to, what did I say last time? I changed it from Code Test Manager out to live stream. I made it all lowercase to show that the title was working. And then let's leave the days to complete and go back. Let's edit the task list again. Let's edit a task property. Let's edit mow the lawn. And then let's edit the days to complete and let's make this 100 so that this shifts down to third place. So now we have that. And then we go to main menu and we view, live stream, homework for calculus, mow the lawn. Now if we exit the program, clear this, run, and then load back in. Why is it doing that? There we go. And then we view, everything's saved. So everything is working accordingly. Perfect. So let's just exit here and clear. So the next thing we can do that's pretty easy is for my main menu here, I'm just going to move my terminal back to the side here just for the time being so I can see while we're coding. We have run system. So we have edit task property here. Not edit task property. We need to edit task list. We need to run that. We need to create this function. Right? We need to create clear task list. So I'm gonna actually just make this a class function from tasks, right? That's just going to do this, but I'm going to first prompt the user for some input. So let's just say user input is equal to we want to say are you sure you would like to clear the let's just say first off, let's just say are you sure, right? We want to say I'm going to use the same kind of formatting as last time, so /n. We want to say here, why does it give me grief? All right. We want to say, are you sure new line on this one. One for yes, clear task list. Okay. And then, oh, I don't want to actually close this yet. I want to leave it open. We'll say new line 2. Uh, go back. Right? Go back. So now that's closed. So if user is equal to 1, what do we want to do? We're going to want to actually try right here, right? Want to try to get user input, accept a value error. We want to continue prompting, and we want to actually display to the user that please enter 1 or 2. Are you sure? Oh yeah, I know Copter. I know I can do it in one line. I'm just setting it up like this, so I know it takes 2 more lines of code, and it might be slower, but this program's not gonna be super big. It's pretty beginner, anyways. But I'm just doing this format so I can see the it visually what's going on. Uh, I mean, is it better to just do it all in one line? Because I mean, this just makes it clear because this is what actually is gonna somewhat look like this inside the terminal when it's ran. You know what I mean? It's gonna be structured this way. That's just why I do it. So I kind of visually kind of know I can track where I'm at in the menus and know that okay, I'm in a menu here. It just kind of does that make sense at all? I don't really know. It could is it tomato tomato, I guess. I don't know. To people that are in here, I appreciate you guys joining. And good evening to you, October 29th. Really appreciate you guys joining. Feel free to like and follow along. I'm just teaching myself Python after work and streaming my sessions and putting up some basic problems that I solve throughout my studies. Follow along if you're in a similar situation. All right, so we are going to go back. So if the user enters 1, we want, except if we get a value error, right? So if the user enters 1, we want to run this function here, or this method, right? And then we want to break here, right? I guess it doesn't really matter if it's just going to end. Thailand. Oh, Copter, that's really cool. Where are you guys? Located right now in Bay Area, California. But Thailand, that's really awesome. You is TSM, the Taiwan Semiconductors, are they big? Are they really as prominent as they claim to be in Taiwan? Is it a huge source of the economic uh, livelihood coming from that region? I keep up on a lot of economics and stocks in my free time. Houston, Texas, awesome, dude. That's really cool. Appreciate you guys being here. All right, so where were we? So we're actually going to just run this here. Now, do we need break? So the loop will end, right, if we get to 1. Let's just leave it for now. Elif user input is equal to 2. We want to go back. So we want to just call edit task list again, right? Yeah, so let's call it edit task list, right? So this sets up our prompt 3, right? So we ask the user if they're sure they want to, um, remove the tasks or clear the tasks. Um, so I think what I'm going to do actually is set up a function here, def clear tasks, right? And then I'm going to set all of this code inside. From here, like so. Why did I do that? Cool. And then we're going to hey Tino, I really appreciate you joining, man. Good evening to you. What's your background goal? I'm actually a formulation chemist, I guess is my official title. I'm a scientist, a physical scientist in chemistry, and I have a degree in human biology and chemistry. And so I'm learning Python just to, hopefully implement some data analysis down the line, but I'm just doing some general, fun projects just to boost my learning, solidify basic concepts, overall workflow, get quicker, faster, just studying basically and using just creating a task list project here as a way to practice as you would. Play the guitar, you'll learn a couple of songs. You learn to code, you'll learn how to make a task list, I guess. So I moved that to clear tasks function so that we can actually just make this cleaner here and instead just call the clear tasks function here and follow the kind of similar method that I've been doing so far. So if we do clear tasks. What's your background, Tino, if you don't mind me asking? What brings you here this evening and what's driving you to learn Python? Feel free to follow along with me here and on the channel if you're wanting to, just study and have it in the background. I was using it as a tool for me to solidify concepts and study basically. I want to get better at this. I have a lot of fun doing it. It's fun. Ain't that right, Miss Kitty? Come here. She made an appearance on my chair at the beginning of the stream, but she hasn't come back yet. She's still in the bed. All right, so now we need to actually implement this um, method here. So it would be a class method because we are accessing the class tasks or the list that or array that is associated with inside the task object class itself. It's not given to each individual object through a instance variable, but instead it is a class variable because it is containing all of the objects that are created, or in this case, tasks. Always want channel like this to this day. Well, awesome, Copter. I'm glad you Glad we connected. It must be fate. Our relationship starts today. I'm working in design currently. Python is interesting for me for more backend wise, like Django or Fast API, but data analysis is definitely cool to watch. Well, that's really cool. Fast API, Django. I am honestly not super familiar. I know API, but I don't really know what Fast API does, and I'm not really sure what Django does either. Um, I'm pretty new to this. I'm learning concepts every day, researching as much as I can. I know some basic HTML and CSS. I was able to make my girlfriend a. It's on my GitHub. It's just a basic professional site for her dance career. Just how to contact. It doesn't have not everything works properly, but it's just kind of a bare bones structure of things I wanted to try out and do on my own. And it took me a couple of days to make, but it's on my GitHub. I'm not sure if that's in my YouTube or on the description. I'm not sure if I put it there, but if you need the link, let me know and I can send it to you. But uh, yeah, it's pretty basic and it's just clean and kind of professional. Two most popular libraries for backend in Python. Well, I will definitely have to research those, Tino. Let me write those down so I don't forget. Django, or I'll put them on a sticky. How about? I forgot I have those stickies. Oh, that was for my girlfriend and I were doing a business meeting for a thing. D G Ango and Fast API. MP API. Okay, I will take a peek at those and definitely look into those as something to maybe study. Cool. Appreciate the information, Tino. All right. So we are here. We need to make a class method called clear tasks, right? Should I make this? It's clear task list, right? Clear task list. It needs to be tasks to be consistent. Clear tasks list. Is task list plural? Task list might be plural in itself. And English is annoying. Do you put, oh, you put everything class, you can make your own library. That's what I've just been doing. I've been structuring everything inside of this class, and then recalling those functions into just like a structure. Like this is just, what the user follows. I wanted this to basically be just how the user follows things, and I'm pulling the information from this. So in general, this whole project is kind of a package of things, which I think is kind of cool. Copter. Okay, so to actually clear tasks out of the list, right? Clear task list. We want to give it the class itself. Um, we need to define this. So, is there just a clear, a remove, can I just go like tasks dot or class dot tasks dot like is there just like a literal, I know pop, I can pop things out and save them temporarily. Don't want to, is clear just clear? I think that, I think clear is just clear. Like like remove the whole thing. Let me see. Let's go to Mr. Jippity here. Class dot or list dot clear. is used to remove all the items from a list. Okay, yeah, returns none. This method modifies the original in place. It doesn't return any, and doesn't return. Okay, it just modifies the current list and does not return a new list. Okay, cool. So that takes care of that. That's a really easy function actually. And where were we? So clear tasks. If I'm gonna take this out of the while loop. Actually, I don't want things weird happen if you continually while. So we'll break first and then we will run this. I'm not sure if that's any more beneficial, but I've often had trouble with things inside the while loop, things building up, and then eventually something breaks. So I'm just going to keep that outside the while because I know if they press 1, we'll just break and do this, right? All right, so now let's try this. So we have 3 tasks in our list. Let's move our terminal down here for you guys. How do you make it so it just is the total? I don't want to. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So let's make this full screen. All right, so we're prompted. We met with Mr. Cowman. Let's add a new task. So, or let's view a task. So as you can see, we see all 3. Let's edit the task list and then let's clear the tasks. Are you sure? Okay, so we need to add in a we need to add in a \n after the go back here. Right, that takes care of that little bug, visual bug. So if we go back, what happens? Nothing. Nothing happens. Okay, so we're stuck in this loop here. So why are we stuck in this loop? Try what I need to have these inside of my try statement. Try, no, restart first. Restart first. Oh, you think it just wasn't working because it wasn't restarted here? Edit, clear. Now we're stuck. We are stuck. So let me, what if it's a, like a, okay, that's fine. Let me exit out these terminals. It might be because I need to be in my try statement. Edit. No, my go back's not working. So user input equals 2. So except if we get a value error, please enter. We'll just say for this one, actually, instead of please enter blah blah blah, we'll say invalid input, right? And we'll say if user, oh, input it, return string. Oh. Oh, got you. You're right. Do I want? Is it preferable? Thank you, Copter. I appreciate you. You definitely you got that one. Yes. So I have to have strings here, right? It's never true because uh, I'm not converting input to an integer. So what I need, I'm checking for a value error here, um, but I don't need to in this case because I'm not converting int up here, right? But is there any reason to convert int here or just go else continue, right? So if I just removed the try except block and removed the int conversion, asking for one or two, else print like invalid input, right? And then continuing. So do you guys know which one would be preferable in this case? Like, why would you want to run a check on an integer conversion for a input of a value of one or two? I mean, we're never going to use that data in any sort of mathematical operation. So I don't think it would necessarily be, we would necessarily want to actually ever convert it to an integer. I think I was initially trying to convert it to initially check to see if they were using or inputting it correctly, but I'm directly specifying values that they need to input. Yeah, why need, try, and accept? Exactly. The input will never be a value error. Yeah, exactly. The input will never ever be a value error because I'm only checking for this. I'm continuing the loop over and over again if I don't get one or two. Exactly. So let's remove the int out front, remove the accept, remove the try, move this over one, and then just have the else block on the bottom, right? So now if the user enters one or two, right, one if we break and we do this, the following here. So and then if they enter two, we go back, right? We go back to the edit list menu, which is just edit task property, remove task, or clear. And then um, in three is anything else is invalid, and we continue the loop asking the user a question. Okay, so that will work now, I believe. So let's go back to our problem here. Let me see. No, clear. Okay, let's run. So we'll enter here. Um, so let's just view our task, make sure we have tasks. Okay, so let's edit the task list. Let's go to clear task list. Are you sure? Um, let's say go back. Boom. Yes. Woo! Ba, 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 ba. All right. You guys get that feeling like when something works out, it's just like a little boof, little kick of something. I don't know what it is, but that's why I keep coding it. Just that I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. I'm a human biologist. Dopamine. Get that hit of dopamine when your program works and you become a coding addict. All right. Anyways, so let's go ahead and actually clear the task list now. So would we like to clear? Yes. Okay. Now, moment of truth. Let's go to the main menu and let's view the task list. Oh! Bada bing, bada boom. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so now if we save and we open up our task CSV file, everything is gone. Oh, wow. All right, this program is really coming along, Copter. Anybody else that's in here, it's really coming along. I appreciate those that stopped along in here this evening. This has been great. This has been awesome. We made a lot of progress here. So let's just go ahead and quickly, we'll clear out the terminal, if I can spell. Um, we, what's next on the list? What do we need to do? Um, Bro, GitHub. Okay, I will. I will do that. I will. How do I? I have to. Don't. Do I have to like make like a README and stuff and all that jazz? Okay, that will be my task for this evening and for my lunch tomorrow at work. I will make a README and make a little about license thing that it's just use it. It's for studying and it's whatever and then it'll be all, and then I'll post that, and we'll be all good. Hopefully, you guys will like that. But I appreciate the support, everybody. Number ones. Ooh. All right, so we. I get distracted easily. It's the hardest part with coding is you just get distracted easy, especially when you're streaming. People are actually here, which is really awesome. Thanks guys for stopping in. All right, so Uh, so I wanted to take a peek at edit task property here. So I'm not sure if I can condense this or refactor this code into a function for the class, right? I'm not sure if there's a way to make this incorporate this into the library, because what this does is it asks for the title, right? Um, or the parameter you like. Once you select your task to edit by just finding the task, right? Index, we either edit the title or we edit the days to complete so that we can get a new due date, or we go back to the menu. If they enter one, right, to change the task title, that's easy. If they enter two, should I make this into a function here? Would this be beneficial, do you think, to have it as a function rather than or a method in my class rather than a individual line code? So what this does is it just reassigns all those individual attributes of that task with the updated task so that things can reset, and then obviously when they exit out, sort again. Because if they change the days to complete by, if it's 3 days to complete and they change it to 10 days, well, our due date now becomes 10 days from now, which changes the priority. So I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Should we change this to be some sort of class method? But I would have to re-get the task to edit here again. No, I can't. I could provide it with an argument of the task to edit.
So if the user uses the method and provides the task to edit, then it does all of these things to it, is what I think I want to do. So this would be task dot um, what would be a name for this? My brain's starting to slow down. It's getting later. I've already worked all day today, and trying to code after it gets hard later and later you go. Okay, so the tasks that we want to access the task class, and we want to make a method to update task. And this will take in a task. Hello, Apple Peel. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you stopping in. Uh, what brings you here this evening? Um, I haven't recognized your name before. You're new, and I see you, recognize you. Thank you for joining this evening. Hope you're well and feeling well, and everything's doing well for you. So we want to put in here the task um, to edit, right? So then we would take this code here and put it into a method. So let's put this down here. Interesting approach to learning. Yeah, I guess it's pretty interesting. Just documenting my progress. I go as kind of like a video journal, video series, Python beginner. Well, yeah, awesome, good. This is exactly what it's for. I'm a beginner as well. I'm not trying to teach anybody anything. I'm not a teacher. I want this is so people can follow along and gain guidance on where to, a pathway and maybe learn from my mistakes and things along those. It's all in fun and learning, learning new skills. So we give so we'll do def. What was our task? What was it called? Update task, right? And then this is gonna take the object itself and then ooh no, so it would just take self, right? It wouldn't take any other argument because I would just be editing the object itself. No, no. Feel free to ask questions. That's totally fine. I'm here to answer any questions, provide any feedback that you might have along learning, where to go about things, how my experiences with stuff. I'm a beginner. I'm totally transparent. Um, but no, yeah, this is my first programming language, Python. I started with this, and I started with CS50P, and I've been reading every day for the past month and a half, 2 months, Python crash course, little by little. Been going through, and then I've been doing the try it yourself problems um, on stream, and then also going back through and uploading just short videos onto my channel, going over just quickly edited of the solutions to those try it yourselves that I came up with, so that maybe other people could use them if they were stuck or wanting to see the answer. So we'll update the task and we'll just take in the task itself. So um, we just want to do this. So we need to give it a
task to edit, days to complete. So we need to give it a new days to complete, right? I'm getting lost here. My brain is slowing down, guys. I'm gonna be honest. It is slowing down here. So the task to edit is what we are is the holds the value of the current task that we have selected, the user selected. We want to incorporate this new method here and take place of these lines of code and put them into a method here. So in order to do so, task to edit need, what does update task need? It needs the task to edit, and it also needs um, days to complete edit, right? It will need those two parameters given by the user. It will need the task at hand that we want to change, and then the parameter we want to update, which is days to complete to edit. And we use that to update all three of the days to complete. We override the current value with the days to complete edit. We use that value to now set the due date with the set due date, and then we use that value to also use set priority. Um, so now that we have that, we can go into our class here. Let me go ahead and copy these guys. It won't work, but I can just use it as structure. If you're following along and haven't done so, feel free to like and sub and follow along to the channel, and let you know next time I stream. Um, so we can meet again. Love to see you guys again. So days to complete, edit. I'll say new days to complete, right? Not new days to complete is equal to task to edit. This is just going to be self dot days to complete self. The object is self. We're going to run that method, and then we're going to do self run the method on this. And so this is going to be, should we keep it consistent with, I know I changed this variable to be more universal for this library, whereas in the main object it's days to complete edit is what I had it on, because I had task to edit is what I was using. So I could have said like new task, but it's not a new task. It's the task that you want to edit, right? So that's why I went with that that labeling of this variable. Uh, so I'm gonna leave it for now. But let me know what you guys think, if it's better to keep it consistent or to change it for this more universal approach in the library. So this would be new days to complete, because it is new days to complete, but it's not a new task. It is the object itself. So then it just sets that. It doesn't return anything. Do I need to return? Do I need to give something back? Try to do this. I don't think I need to do anything. I'm just setting those values, and I'm not printing, I'm not setting this to equal some variable. I'm not like some variable, right? I'm not returning a value to be saved so I can do something with it again. No, I'm just overriding the current attributes of that instance object, and then just being done. And then when they exit out of this menu, that object will be sorted via this sort class or sort tasks. So anybody have any questions on that or anything that they might have? I hopefully everybody's following along. But I've been asked to make a GitHub repo and push this to GitHub so people can follow along live within their IDEs. So I will do that tomorrow. After this stream, I will push what I have so far. I think this is actually a really good spot because we actually have all of the prompts filled and working with being able to push this. We just have some bugs and some formatting we need to figure out with um, files and stuff. So, pardon me, do some water. All right. So, if we go ahead and take our terminal down here, and then we run this guy. So no data was found in the file, so we're running. So even though the file is blank, we're still going to run. So hello to the people in here. We have 9 people. Glad you guys are here. So let's go ahead and view tasks. As you can know, we have no tasks in the file. So let's go ahead and add a task. Let me make this bigger. So let's make a task. Let's say, let's do live stream. I'm going to do this tomorrow, so I got 2 days to complete this. Okay, let's add a new task. Let's say code, task tracker app. Let's say I got 10 days to do this. Let's add on one more task. Let's say walk the dog. I'll walk my dog Sky. Let's say I need to walk her today, right? And then cool. So if we view the tasks, we have all of our tasks in order by priority listing and by ranking of due date that was assigned. So walk the dog is first, live stream is second, and code tracker app is third, based on priority. And so if we edit the task list, edit a task property, edit walk the dog, let's edit the task title, new task, let's say this is the new walk the dog task. Okay, let's edit the days to complete. Let's make this 100 so it moves to the bottom of the list. Make sure that that's working as well. And let's go to main menu and view. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go, guys. Woo! Oh, that is so cool. Pardon if your ears got blown out right there. Sorry. I got excited. This is always so cool when things work out like that, and it worked perfectly. So we successfully were able to take this updating of the task and make it a function within our library here, or of our task class object library, and make it reusable so that we can, or any person that imports this can update a task by giving it these parameters. So pretty neat that now that's reusable. But all right. So what would be next, guys? What should we do next? Um, I don't really know like what we should do. I mean, things are kind of really progressing here. We can add tasks, we can edit them, both name and date due. We can view all the tasks, we can save them, we can exit. What to do? What to do? Anybody have any ideas on what we should implement?
and what they would maybe like to see incorporated in this. Um, I do want to actually go back into this and edit the load task files class method. And instead of if not rows, we want to pass. I don't want to print anything if there's no rows found like we did previously. As you can see at the start of this program, or at the previous one, I cleared it already. It gave a little message saying our file was empty if it was empty. So I don't want that to happen. Um, so I wonder what happens if let's go ahead and run this program. So let's go, actually it's two, let's clear this out. Let's go ahead and run. If we enter and we view, so we have 3 tasks and we exit, and we go into our tasks file here, and let's say something happens to our file. Let's say it gets, these tasks get removed somehow. I'm going to leave the heading for now, but I will remove that in the next test here. So let's go ahead and say, let's go ahead and now try to run this. Will it run knowing that it had previously saved things that were deleted? I'm pretty sure it will. Cool. So nothing was in our list, so yeah, nothing got shown here. No little message, so we got rid of that thing. And then as it doesn't throw us an error, it just automatically opens up the empty file. Now, if we exit this, I have written here in my save task file that so when you open, so with open, you open the task CSV file and you open it in write mode, right? And then the new line as blank, right? We save this as file. And then what does this, we're supposed to put this here. What does this exactly mean? So what does the new line equal blank mean in with open? The new line blank parameter in open function in Python is used to control how new line characters are handled. When reading or writing text files, here's what it does. Default behavior. When you open a file in text mode, the default mode, Python uses universal new lines. This means it will convert all types of new line characters. Okay. Convert back to character. Using new line equals blank string, setting new line changes this behavior. It tells Python not to perform any new line translation, which means when reading, it will read the new line characters as they are in the file. Oh. When writing it, it will write the new character new line characters exactly if you provide them. Oh, so when you're writing files, users aren't going to read \n. Like they actually, you want to read \n because you're reading like a CSV or a text file. If you put \n and don't provide this new line, it's going to do a new line in the actual code of that function, whatever. But having new line equal a blank string just tells you whenever you see the new line \n, whenever you see this guy, right? Ooh, shoot. Whenever you see this guy, actually print this guy. Don't do the new line. Okay, cool. Figured that out. I was wondering what that meant. Yeah. Hello, if you're here. I'm Michael. I occasionally will just stop and say hello to the new people.
appreciate you joining this evening. Feel free to follow along if you're a beginner programmer in Python like myself. I'm just using this as a series to document my progress and track. And you can track along and follow along. Okay, so we did that. Um, so in my file here, copter, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what to do next. Is it done? Like, am I done? Like, I don't know. Like, what should I do next? What do you guys want to see next? What would be cool? I don't have really any ideas right now. That's kind of what I needed to finish for um, this stuff. But I wanted to show you. So in the save task, so we open this as file. We with the CSV writer method, we use that on the file, and we save that contents as writer, right? Or what we're going to write into as writer. And we use the writer, and we write the row this, right? We write the first row this. So no matter what, the first row gets overridden with our header. And then we assign each of these um, attributes or instance uh, variables that the each task has to a section in the CSV. Yeah, no worries, Fuad. I really appreciate you joining. It was great to meet you. Was that you that was over? No, I think Copter was in Thailand. Let me go back. Who was in Thailand? Copter was in Thailand. Fuad was in Texas. Yes, you're in Texas. Well, appreciate you joining, man. Good night. Have fun with in your journey with Python. Sub to your channel. I would highly suggest you create a Discord for your channel since you don't have Instagram presence. Yes, I actually I need to create a Discord. This would have been a perfect opportunity to get people in here. But I will create a Discord for new programmers where we can all collaborate and talk and discuss various methods and resources that really help actually help learn, get rid of all that FUD out there. And then I will also make a repo and post that. So I will post a like a community post on my channel regarding this information, and then we can um, and then it'll all be there. So I'll do that for you guys for sure. Uh, this is so cool. I wish you all the best in your journey. You're doing so good. Darshan, thank you, dude. I really appreciate you saying that. Such kind words. I hope you're learning in Python and whatever you're passionate about. See you, Fuad. Appreciate you joining in, man. All right. So, anybody have any suggestions on what we should add here? I can make a note of it maybe for the next stream. I think I might wrap up here in a second, but I think this has been my best stream ever. You guys have really blown this out of the water. This is just insane. I've never had a stream like this. This has been so cool. Um, and yeah, so I really I'm honestly speechless. This is really cool. But anything you guys would like to see in general implemented into this add UI? Yeah, oh, that would be a good idea actually for a next step to maybe learn. I would have to definitely learn um, how to do that. I could use maybe like Pygame to create a window, or I have to use some sort of library or module, and I'd have to research it, and we could do it live together here. Just saw this pop on my YouTube. Keep going, fam. Hey, Vanch, really appreciate you saying that. Man, I must be getting suggested because a lot of people keep popping in here. So I must be really hitting the feed. So I appreciate you saying that. Feel free to follow along if you want to code along with me and learn. I just learned T Kinter, LOL. What's T Kinter? T Kinter. Seems like you might be referring to tkinter, which is a standard library in Python used for creating graphical interfaces. Okay. Tkinter is built in Python interface to TKGUI toolkit. It provides a variety of tools and gadgets to create windows and buttons menus using the GUI elements.
basic structure with Tkinter. Oh, let me move this for you guys. Basic structure with Tkinter applications, importing the library, creating a main window, adding widgets, running application. Oh, wow. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't really know that. I didn't know they had such a standard library for this. Tkinter is UI Pygame for game. Okay, gotcha. I will definitely let me add that to my sticky note. Tkinter. Cool. All right, I added that. Anything else that we would like to see potentially added and implemented into this beginner task tracker program? Um, Anything that may be helpful um, for you or for other beginners out there? I'm all ears. How frequent do I stream Darshan? I try to stream as often as possible. If you go back on my channel and just look at my history, I stream quite often. I'm here alone by myself 3, 4 nights a week, so I try to stream anytime I can, at least for an hour in between those days. Some days I obviously get busy with other things, and I like to have other hobbies. I play guitar too, so I like to practice that as well for a few hours once a week, or not once a week, a few hours every so often, every couple of days, just to keep up with stuff. But um, no, I'm all about just learning new things. I'm just every day after work, I'm just taking in more information, learning about programming, guitar, stuff, anything. This will be my favorite channel. Wow, dude, that's very nice of you to say. That's so nice. I really appreciate you saying that. I've been streaming and making these videos, so I really appreciate you saying that my work is kind of paying off. I really actually really appreciate you. That's actually really awesome. I keep saying that, but you don't know. It means that I've been doing this work and it's meaning something. So I'm glad you guys are getting something out of it, and it's helping other people as well as helping myself. Play guitar. For once, YouTube suggestion worked perfectly. Yes, YouTube suggestions, awesome. I'm so glad I got suggested. That means I'm getting picked up into the algorithm there, and I'm finding the right audience because I want to get a Discord for everybody so we can all collaborate together offline, off stream, and really stay in touch. I think there's power in a lot of beginners coming together because a lot of the information is kind of kept hush hush behind institutions and things you have to pay for. So if we can all come together for find the cheapest and most accessible resources, and maybe I can use this platform to demonstrate those. Like I watch the lectures of certain things. I want to watch the CS50 X course and watch that live and post my a follow along and watch along with that. So yes, we'll add a GUI. I think that is probably the next step. Maybe I will take this, upload it, and then fork from there and make a GUI to have two separate versions, a terminal based one, and then a UI a GUI based one. And then I think it might also be interesting maybe for my next project to maybe do one last text-based terminal thing and do a game where like a dungeon crawler kind of style of game. I've kind of wanted to make one of those. Could be really cool, but that also might be pretty simple. Um, or it might be difficult actually if I have many different like levels I can make or different objects and things. I can make tons of different classes, so it really could get quite elaborate, um, as creative as I want to get, and I could definitely use your guys' input. So thanks to you for joining. But um, I feel bad having to cut things short, but I do need to get kind of wrapping up and go to bed. I have work tomorrow, and I do go to bed fairly decently to try to be able to function properly. Oh, hey, Jake B. Oh, see, as I'm telling you, new people are joining here. Oh, kitty, stop it. My kitty's scratching. Um,
people are joining here. I don't want to end the stream because people are finding the channel and I'm getting some traction here. I want to keep going. But hey Jake B, I appreciate you joining. I hope you're having a good evening, and I appreciate you making a comment and saying some kind words. Feel free to follow along. So let's just go ahead and do a demonstration for those that may be just joined. So I'm actually going to, okay, our task is clear, so let me go ahead and exit here and do clear. Let's do a demonstration of the task tracker just one last time before we wrap up the stream. And then I will post this to GitHub as a repo, and everybody can have access and maybe see how it works, use it, and copy it and use it for maybe their own projects. Now, all good. We're going to be here tomorrow again. Awesome. I appreciate that. That's exactly what I want. We'll be here tomorrow. We'll read some Python crash course, and maybe we'll study some CS 50 lecture or something. Um, so let's go ahead and run this program. So we'll enter the program. We're met with the cute little cow. I want to change maybe to add to where each menu is prompted with a new animal, and that it's really kind of ran by the animal, so it feels like at each step the animal is. I think it might just help it make it less monotonous. So we'll add a new task. Let's say I want to stream um, Python. I want to do this tomorrow, so I got 2 days to complete this, or 1 day really, I guess, but it's okay. And then let's add a new task. Let's say I need to feed my cat, which is, her name is Kitty Lady. Feed Kitty Lady. I need to feed her, let's say I need to feed her today. Let's add a new task, and then let's go ahead and let's say this is mow the lawn. Let's give this like, I'd have to do this 5 days from now. Let's add one more task. Let's say I have a final project coming up at the end of the semester. So let's say complete CS50 final project, right? How many days? Well, I have quite some time. I got the end of the semester, or whatever it might be. So I got 100 days to complete this. So let's actually go ahead and view our task list. So as you can see, despite the order that we entered our tasks in via the prompts, our tasks were automatically sorted based on their due date provided. We provided a date to complete that was converted from a current date that we provided the task, plus the days to complete gives us a due date, which then sorts our tasks. We use that using the datetime module used in Python. We can do that by just importing datetime, and then I think I'll just stop and pause to talk about datetime for just a quick second. So here, when the instance of the task is created, we create a datetime instance right here, instance variable for the date created, and then we we use that date created value inside of a function of these days to complete, or set due date and set priority, or set due date rather, sorry. Might be kind of getting annoying because I'm kind of going all over the place, but set due date uses the self.date created of that instance and adds it to um, the days to complete, a time delta variant, which I had to look this up in order to convert an integer value of like 10 to a time delta like 10 days from now, not just integer 10 but 10 days, so we can actually add it to a date and return the summation of those dates. We had to do this conversion here with time delta. And you can just learn these things through the text, or just simply just option. If you're on Mac, option space, just ask ChatGPT what time delta is, or how to do that. And obviously you don't want to copy and just blatantly you know cheat and cheat yourself rather, but read what it has to say, take in the information, and then apply that to your code. That's what I've been doing. It's really been helping me to learn things. Um, so yeah, so we
once we create that class and we get that due date, we then assign it a priority. So we go back to our function, our main program here, into our terminal window. We can view our tasks again, and everything's there, and everything's in order. So we can edit a task. We can edit a task property individually by selecting a task to edit, and then um, we can edit. Let's say we need to edit task number one, and let's say we need to make this new task title is just feed kitty. We'll remove her hyphenate her second name. And we'll make it a days to complete. We'll set this to, she's not here right now, so we'll set this to 10 days to complete. Um, Obviously, we would feed the kitty sooner than that. Let's view the task list now, and as you can see, feed kitty was updated the name and was moved from the top spot to the bottom spot via the set due date. Um, that that what we did earlier for the update task method here, right? So super simple. Not super simple. It's complex, right? We're working with classes. Don't think that this is it's not complex. It's not simple. It's kind of but um, it's just only 3 lines of code, but it does a lot, right? There's a lot going on behind the scenes that we've got to this point. Anyways, just quickly here, well, let's wrap up with so we proved that we can edit tasks. So let's quickly just edit the task list one more time. And let's say we want to just start over. Let's go ahead and clear the task list. We're prompted because this is a permanent action. Just a one more warning. Are you sure? Yes, let's go ahead and clear it. And we are, to prove it, we can go back to the main menu and view, and we have no tasks in our list. And we can exit the program. It will save the file, and we can be done. Um, and I'll prove that here by exiting, going to our file here, and as you can see, there are no more rows underneath our header. So everything is working accordingly, and our program is working great. So actually, during that final pass through, I noticed that there were some times where the user might want to go back or exit out of a certain menu when they weren't allowed to. So I think for next time we work on this, I'll make a note that we want to add the ability to when we like selected on a specific task to edit like new task title, um, or right here current tasks, we had to select a task. We were forced to select a task to edit, and we had to then either go back to the main menu or edit that task. Well, what if in this task I'm a user and I'm like, I want to just go back right now? Well, I probably should add a break, like a line break below the last option in the list, and then provide a new option saying just to go back at this point. Just so maybe just clean up through some passes the actual user friendliness of it and provide some more modularity in and out of the various stages and menus. But yeah, this is fairly complete for the most part. I really appreciate you guys joining me and helping me along this process for today and kind of cleaning up and refactoring some code and polishing up the last couple of functions needed to get all of the menu items working that we have implemented so far. And if you're new and wanting some resources, I do go over the Python crash course here at the beginning of the streams for a good 45 minutes or an hour to warm up and learn some new concepts. And I'm gonna, after I complete that book, I'm gonna move on to the Automate the Boring Stuff book by published by No Starch Press as well, but under a different author. But this book is great for learning these beginner concepts and being able to maybe make something like this. But I will, again, I'm going to make before I go, I'm sorry, I'm rambling and yapping on, but gonna make a repo, GitHub repo, and push um, this to GitHub so we can incorporate and everybody can use this and you can work along with me as I stream and make your own fork and do it with me. It's great. I think that's a great idea that I think Copter brought that up. I will also make a Discord It might be pretty basic. I don't have a lot of experience with Discord and making channels and stuff, so it might just be pretty basic until I can set things up like officially. But um, just so we can all collaborate offline and help each other out and find more resources. I think that's great. We can all help each other. Um, Discord for connection. Yes. In your journey as a new dev, what would you say has been the hardest for you? Oh, the hardest for me. It's definitely self motivation, right? You have to be willing to sit down in your desk, force yourself to be frustrated. Um, we as humans are naturally wired to not want to do things that are uncomfortable. We want to be safe. We want to be at level homeostasis levels. We want to be secure. But by doing things like this, it causes mental stress, anguish. It's hard, right? It's hard to learn these concepts might seem beginner, but they're new, they're foreign, they're hard, and I've been trying my best to stick to that mindset, saying, no, just keep going. You're at your own pace. So just know that the end of the world isn't coming tomorrow, and even if it does, that's just dumb luck. Um, but you're going to be able to code tomorrow and learn more tomorrow, and that's what I keep doing every day, little by little, page by page, stream by stream. So I appreciate you guys joining me. If you guys just kind of joined in here towards the end, please feel free to watch back. The stream was actually really helpful for learning things, I think, and I actually got this is my largest stream I've ever done. This really was mind blowing, and I really appreciate you guys. Tons of gratitude, hugs and kisses, X and O's. You guys are awesome. This has been mind blowing, actually. I've never had to talk to anybody. It's just been me. But bye, guys. Have a good night. Be safe.